So how can we print our own Christmas cards using the Fotospeed Fotocards? Well, hello and welcome to this Fotospeed video with me, Tim Jones. Today what we're going to be looking at is we're going to be looking again at the photocards. So the photocards are pre-scored cards that come in sizes of A5, A6, I3, which is like a panoramic, and also 5x5 inch cards. Now they come provided in packs with envelopes and they are ready to print on. So they make a really great way of printing your own greetings cards because we are leading up to Christmas. I'm afraid to say that. I know it's only still November. However, we are looking forward to moving into Christmas. So I thought I'd do a little bit of a video today on a little bit of a different slant because I've done videos in the past of showing you how to use the photo cards and how to actually kind of print on them. So I thought I would do a video on them just to remind everyone that we still do them, and also Christmas is coming. So we just need to kind of perhaps get ready for that. So what I thought I'd do today is actually I'm going to create some photo cards with some drawings my children have done, which makes a kind of a nice little different kind of slant on actually making the Christmas cards as well. So what I'm going to do is they've done these lovely drawings. All three of them have done a lovely drawing for me of Christmas trees and things. So what I'm going to do is rephotograph these, put them into Lightroom, and then we're going to do some little basic edits on. I'm not going to go to town on them. And then basically we're going to put them, I'll show you very quickly how we can actually print these on a photo card. So before we dive in, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Just click that subscribe button down the bottom. Okay, so the first thing I need to do is I'm going to very roughly photograph these. Now, the best way to do this, and the way I have done it, is I'm going to pop them on my desk and then put one of my video lights over the top, one of these daylight viewing lights over the top. However, you can do this just on your phone. There's no kind of, you don't need a posh camera to do it. The better your camera though, usually the better the results, the sensor and things, there's going to be more detail held there. However, for the size we're going, printing from your phone and things is absolutely fine, and you should be able to get away with it pretty reasonably, to be honest. You can also scan them as well if you wanted to, if you've got a flatbed scanner. I haven't actually got one here with me today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to photograph them on my little Ricoh, and then I'm going to pop them into Lightroom, and then we will have a look and see what we need to do to it, because there might be a little bit of cropping we need to do, or a little bit of kind of retouching little elements and contrast and brightness and sharpening and things like that. So we'll look at all that, and then we can actually give them a print. Okay, so let's get them photographed, and then we'll dive into Lightroom. So here we are in Lightroom. So basically what I've done is photograph these pictures under some lighting, and we could use our phone, to be honest, to do this if needed. Now I've shot in RAW as well, so we've got some nice kind of renditions of these here. But you can see actually my lighting wasn't the best. So what we need to do is just want to make these nice. First thing what I'm going to do though is I'm just going to crop in and actually just make them nice and kind of square, so we've got some nice edges to work with, and take off any of those nasty kind of edges and things in there, so we've got a nice picture. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to brighten everything up a little bit, put a little bit of vibrancy in, a little bit of the black point as well, and just kind of basically by eye, just kind of make it just so it looks quite nice, to be honest. We'll also see I've got a tiny little bit of vignetting going the edges, so I'm just going to add in a little bit of light around the edges as well, just so it looks quite nice. Now we can also, I mean, if we wanted to just, the bottom of this is just a little bit dark as well, so I could add in, say, a gradient in here just to lighten up perhaps this area down here a little bit. Depends how far you want to take it and how even and everything you want it to actually look. So now I've done that one, we can just move on and do the next one in exactly the same way. So first of all, I'm just going to crop it just like this, bring it in a little bit like this, and then I can then start to have a play with, say, exposure and the contrast as well, start to bring in those pictures a little bit here, like that. Just make sure everything looks quite nice and tidy. Now, this was the one that I should have probably, I may even go back and just reshoot this one because it is a little bit dark. I just think it's because of the white paper base here, and it's just kind of not done the best for me here. So I'm just going to do that. Then let's just bring it up a little bit, bring the contrast in a little bit. And I can see I've got a little bit of darkness here, so I'm just going to add in a bit of a gradient down the bottom here, just to bring things up just very slightly here. Might even change the white point a little bit, just so it kind of blends in perhaps a little bit more here. Bring things up a little bit, there we are, a little bit better. Okay. Also, the white point as well, I'm not too, I just start to just bring things up, so we've actually got a white there, which is quite nice. There we are. That's a bit better. There we are. I might even just do that on this one as well. Just bring up that white point a little bit. Although we've got the yellow in here, we'll just bring up that white point a little bit. Start to see down the corners here, my gradient just needs a little bit of work. And I think perhaps in here, I just need to put in a new mask. And I'm going to put in a linear mask just at the top here. Okay, so it's as simple as that really. We can just go through and make these pictures look nice. We can even use, if your pictures are a little bit off and we want to just have a play around with kind of perspective and things like that, we could also try the lens correction in here. So we could just enable the lens corrections just to see if it makes any difference in here of what our actual picture looks like. We could just start to have a play of things. Actually, I think I prefer it kind of without. So I'm just going to pop that. We've also got the transform as well, so we could start to play with kind of our perspectives and things like that. But I think in this case, with what we're going for, I think we're pretty much there, and it looks pretty good. So what we need to do now is actually start to print these. So I'm going to be printing on the A5 cards today, but this same principle applies to all the cards. I've also done a new video for the different sizes we offer and how to set these up, but the principle is the same in each one. So if we go into the print dialog, first of all, what I need to do is I need to make sure my page size is on A4, because I'm going to be printing on an A5 card. However, the page size is actually an A4 folded in half. So I'm going to click on the A4 option. Also, I'm going to print borderless as well. So I'm going to click on contain size in there, and I'm going to print it portrait as well. So now I've got the picture here with a nice border round, but that isn't going to work on our photo cards. So what we need to do is we need to go into our margins, and I'm going to put all these down to 0 to start with. And then we're just going to move everything up so we've got a lovely picture there, but actually it doesn't really fit the page, and also it's still absolutely massive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in a row, and what's that going to do is divide my page in half for me, which is great. But you'll see here it's still not quite right. So let's put rotate to fit. And then also, I'm just going to untick zoom to fill. And you can see here, my ratio isn't quite right to fit this page. So when I'm putting it in, I'm actually going to be losing a little bit of the top and bottom. So let me go back into my crop option here. Then in here, what I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to expand these edges a little bit so we get a bit more of the A4 coming through here, or a bit like that, and up the top here a little bit. So now when I go back into the print, hopefully we get a better match on there. And what we want to do is make sure our picture is in the top half. It should always do this for us, and it should also just pop it in there for us. Because when we print this, if we think this is going to be the back cover, so it's going to fold back on itself, so this will be the front, and then it will stand up really nicely. And then it's as simple as that. And then all we need to do is give it a print. Now for the yellow one here, exactly the same process because it's in a portrait. If we have a landscape, what we have to do is we may just have to rotate the image. So you can either do this by holding Control on a PC or your Command key on a Mac. And then if you press the square brackets button, your picture will actually rotate. And what we want to do is we want to put it in the top half upside down, because when we fold it, it will be the fold just along this line here. So actually it'll be the right way up when it's folded. And it's as simple as that. If you had, say, 6 cards, the only difference you would have to make is in your page size, we'd just select A5. And then we'd have an A5 card. Now, the problem is we wouldn't be able to print borderless on most printers with A5. So the smallest I can actually print is 0.3 of a centimetre, so about 3 mil. Now, if I print this, I won't have a border at the top. So it's worth just popping in 0.3 mil in my pad spacing. So then I get a nice even border all the way around the outside. Now, if I was printing on the 5x5 cards, what I would have to do is create a custom page size and make sure it was 5 inches by 10 inches. So once we set up, I'm just going to put this back to a 4 borderless. There we go. And then I'm just going to make sure I've got everything set up in here. So make sure my margins are all zeroed as well. And then all I've got left to do is to actually go right down, work my way down just to my color management section. Now I'm printed on the high white smooth card, so I've just got the high white smooth profile in here. A little bit of print sharpening on, very slight, just a little bit there. And I'm going to be printing on perceptual, just keep those colors nice and vibrant. Okay, so the only thing left to do is to actually click the print button and get these printed. So I've set my high white smooth paper profile. If I go into my print settings, then I just need to set up the printer as I normally would. So I go into my printer options, and then I can go to my print settings, and I would set this, because I'm using the Epson today, I would set this on fine art matte, print quality. I would just go from 1440, which is absolutely fine, and then I click OK, and then I click print. Okay, so the cards are printed out, and I have to say, really happy with them. They've come out really nice and bright and colourful as well. The cards I've actually chosen are A5 cards, like I said, but they're also the new paper that we've introduced for the photo cards, which is the high white smooth, which I think suits cards really, really nicely. Lovely fine art paper, high white point, and they give the cards a really nice punch and look great. And also they stand up really nicely as well. They don't bending or flexing or anything as well. But actually, they've come out really, really nice. The only one I would possibly go back and tweak is just this one here. I think the blacks just need a little bit of work and just intensity and vibrance and things. But apart from that, I'm really happy. So it's a really nice activity to do as well, be it with your children or grandchildren or your nieces and nephews or anything like that, to actually make some lovely personalised Christmas cards. And also a really good way to use the Fotospeed Fotocards as well. So I hope you agree with that. If you want a bit more of an in-depth video on actually how we go about setting them up in Lightroom and Photoshop and things, please watch my other videos. Sam has also done like a deep dive into the product itself as well, on what the photo cards are, of what actually comes in the pack and things, but I'll put links to those all in the bio so you can just have a quick look and go from there. Well, I hope that has shown you how easy it is to actually create your own cards. Now, obviously, you don't have to use pictures or drawn pictures from children, grandchildren, nieces and nephews and such. You can obviously use your own pictures as well, and I've done a video on how to do that as well, which is just a link in the description below. So hopefully I'm going to see loads of Christmas cards being posted on Twitter and things of all the lovely pictures you've actually been doing. So until next time, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next Thursday. Bye bye.